What is up, everybody? AliShay76 here. How is everybody doing today? So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've had a lot of people comment and ask, like personally, if I could do a couple videos on how I do my makeup sometimes. I know I don't do it as often, but I think now is the time where I can start putting that out and start expressing myself besides just my gaming career, which is slowly taking off, but I still am enjoying like playing games with you guys, so that's not going away. This is just something that I'm going to do just here and there, kind of to show those who are interested how I do it personally. Now, how I do it is definitely not how other people do it or what is recommended. It's just things that I have come to find out works best for me personally. So you don't really have to follow along with me, but you know, it's there if you wanna follow it. So the first thing that I do whenever I start off is I use a moisturizer on my face. The moisturizer that I've currently been using is this e.l.f. Skin. It's the Holy Hydration face cream. Now, a little goes a long way. Like, this is like basically brand new, and I've had this for like, I think a couple months actually, and like you can see, like I barely used it, especially like on the top of the cap there was a whole bunch of the product that would just get on the cap, so I would just use it off the cap. Like I said, a little goes a long way, and I'm still pretty moisturized. As you can see, like I've been breaking out, and a lot of this is all part of hormonal, so that kind of sucks. So the next thing that I do usually, and I just wait for about 10 minutes, I think they recommend waiting about 10 minutes on the moisturizer, 8 to 10 minutes, so that it can like, your skin can like soak it up and take it in. So then the next thing that I use is I use this e.l.f. Power Grip primer. This is their new primer that they have come out with, and it is super tacky, and it's just great to use. I personally like it, and again, a little goes a long way, so I usually about do like a little fingertip of it, and I just kind of like dab it all over my face. And then after that, I just kind of like rub it in. But for now, I just kind of dab it all over so that I can make sure that I'm getting that product everywhere that I need to. And then I just take my hands and I just literally just rub that in and let the skin soak that up. Like, I'm not kidding when I say a little goes a long way. Like, I can feel it all over my skin. So I just make sure that I try to get it everywhere. When I put my moisturizer on, I make sure that I get underneath my eyes and stuff, so that if I have like bags or something, it can take care of the bags and stuff and still, you know, make me feel pretty moisturized and good. So with this, you can see that I can pull my hands off, and you can see that there's a little bit of tack that goes on with this, which is what we want. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the satin finish. Of course, I love this stuff, so I actually have another product of it. And I just go over all of like my blemishes and stuff, and I just let it sit there after I put my primer on. Now, typically I tend to wait just a few minutes before I do put anything on top of that. So until then, I will actually go in with my pigment base, which this is from Profusion Cosmetics. It's just a natural base, and I just go in on my eyes with it, and again, a little goes a long way. So I usually like to open my eyes and kind of like let that spread all over the place. And then I just take my finger, sometimes I'll go up to my eyebrow, and I will just spread it all over my eye. Now, this is what's going to set our eyeshadow so that we don't have as much fallout happen on our base underneath our eye, because sometimes you'll see that. But I do like to get in with my finger and just like spread that over. And your fingers are technically supposed to be your most natural, just the most natural sponge, because it doesn't soak up anything. And sometimes you have a little bit more precision as to where your makeup will go, as far as your like your bases and stuff. And that's why I do it with my finger, because I can get into these creases. I feel a little bit better. And of course I'm gonna go in and kind of clean up the bottom of like my under eyes, so that I don't I'm not layering product underneath my eyes, because that's the last thing we want to do. That's why your under eyes actually look cakey, is because you put when I started, let's say this, when I started, I would put my I can't even think of what the name is off the top of my head. I am so sorry. So it is my foundation. I will put my foundation on, and then I would put my concealer on, and it would just look so bad. It would just look so cakey and just didn't look natural to me. And I come to find out after watching a whole bunch of makeup videos and from makeup artists and stuff, is that it's because of you're just adding too much product to one little spot, and your under eyes don't need that. What they need is to be brightened and lifted, and so it's not, you're adding multiple products on, and it just doesn't work out that way. So unfortunately, that's how that works. Today I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do more of a natural finish. I'm not gonna do anything crazy wild. I typically tend to stay more away from those because I just don't have the confidence in doing that. So that's why we're gonna do natural today. So with these blemishes, I'm just gonna pack some of my concealer on top of these blemishes, and I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna try and spread it out as best as I possibly can so that it's not in your face, but at the same time, I wanna make sure that it's covered. Now remember, you guys, I am by no means a professional, so if you're dealing with certain things like this, remember to always go in and kind of get an opinion first before you literally try. And like I said, everything works different for everybody else. Nobody is the same in how their skin works. Everybody's different. So remember that when you're doing your makeup, because it's different. Okay. So I'm gonna let that sit there. I'm gonna let that dry. And then later we're gonna go back in with our foundation and stuff, and we're gonna cover that with the foundation. So the next thing is I am going to use this Moonstone palette by Profusion Cosmetics. So this palette I've absolutely loved. I think this palette itself was $30 for this palette, maybe 20. But I have absolutely loved this palette because if you're looking for a more natural palette, this palette is the way to go. I do have some other palettes by Profusion that I absolutely love and adore. Again, some of them are more of an out there in your face, brighter kind of palette. And again, I'm not quite confident in going out there with those out there and in your face kinds of colors. This is their Wanderlust palette. Their Wanderlust palette is so beautiful. I absolutely love the purple shades in this palette. This palette is just gorgeous. I mean, those blues and the shimmers, I mean, if I swatch these, you guys, you're just gonna die for these. And they're just so underrated. They're just so underrated. So I'm swatching Sirius, Splash, and Stormy. And I mean, look at those. I mean, I don't have a great camera, but I mean, still, those suckers, you put that on your base and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So, I mean, when I say that these palettes are underrated, I feel like they're underrated, like big time. So, with that being said, let's get into creating our more of a natural color, nude color look, I guess is what we could say. This other palette that I will probably use is called Chocolates. Good palette, pretty basic, neutral. I've loved on this palette a little bit. This middle color, I absolutely love this color. It's called Lionheart, and it's such a cute name. And they do have cute names. I mean, by all means, it's no Michaela Nogueira palette, but still, they still do the trick. Okay, so first things first, I always like to go in with like a neutral base. And the way I do this is I get myself a fluffy brush. So this is the type of brush that I always go with. This is just a fluffy eye blender brush. This is from e.l.f. You can get these in a package. So they come with these brushes. Let's see, there's all these brushes that they come with. And these brushes are just in a package, and I think they're about $10, maybe less than that. Kind of depends on where you go. These brushes are like the beginner brushes, and they're really good brushes to go with if you're really wanting to get into something. Just something simple, something natural. I mean, or if you want to play around with it, go for it. I mean, so it's just up to you, you know, to each their own. Again, I'm no professional, so you don't have to listen to me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the color called Fit. And I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna pack it in there. And you see that I'm just tapping because I want that to sit. I don't want it to go anywhere. I don't want it to move, but again, I want it to look somewhat natural. And then I just kind of go in and just kind of in circular motions. You know, I'm not dragging it or anything. I'm just going in, tapping and circular motions, because that's how we pack the product in to your base. So there's that. And already you can tell a difference, that it looks more natural as opposed to this other eye right here where it's just kind of white and in your face. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye. And I know my eyebrows are not the greatest right now. I have not kept up on them because I have been so busy. But again, look at that. That looks so beautiful, so natural. Okay, so then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my crease. And I'm going to do just kind of a darker color than what we've done here. It's not going to be too much darker. We're going to go in with a color called Nesting. And it's just a little bit darker, and I'm just gonna tap that in. So you can see right there that it's just a little bit darker. It's not much darker than the original color. Now, because I have hooded eyes, I like to go up a little bit higher than that so that I can create just a false hooded eye, if that makes sense. So I just kind of have to relax, and I have to remind myself to relax my face so that I can get into good spot with this. But then again, just tapping motions. You just use tapping motions. That's all you want. Because you don't want your eyeshadow to separate and go in different spots. And then we're gonna go in with another color and blend into these two colors so that it's not not unnatural. So that's where I'm going to get into another fluffy brush. This is another e.l.f. fluffy brush. It's just one that I've gotten off in a while. So I'm gonna go in with a color called Snatched, and it's kind of like a lighter yellowy color. But I'm going to tap that excess product off, and I'm gonna just go in and kind of just start circular motions, and I'm just gonna start blending just little circular motions, and I'm just gonna blend those two together so that it becomes as one. It's not separated, if that makes sense. And look at that difference. You can tell it looks natural, but it still looks beautiful at the same time. So, okay. I'm gonna bring it over a little bit into this corner. Okay, so after that's done, usually I can sometimes clean up or add more of the primer base to it. Now I can see that I don't have anything here, and I haven't set that eye, so I can go in with my next color. So I'm just going to take in this eyeshadow C brush. It's just this brush right here. And it's more of a dense packing brush. I'm gonna go in with the color Thrive. It's a little bit of a more chocolatey color, but not quite chocolate. It's just a light color. And I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna start in this outer corner, and I'm just gonna start packing. And I'm just gonna take it up into that other color that we did in the crease. And I'm still just tapping motions. That's all I'm doing, is just tapping motions. And then we're gonna go in with that nesting color, and we're going to kind of blend that color back in a second. So this is gonna be more of like a nude color, a nude eye look. I better not do that. I need to do my other stuff first on the other eye. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with that fluffy blending brush again, this one. And I'm just gonna blend again. We're just gonna keep blending because that's honestly what we we do when we just want things to look natural and seamless. And I'm gonna fluff it out just a little bit. Just like that. And I'm gonna bring it over just a little bit into that middle. But I'm gonna add another color in this section right here to make it kind of just a pop. And the color that we're gonna do there is called Haute. Haute. And I'm gonna get more kind of a denser, fluffy in between brush. So what I'm going to be using is this little brush right here. It's just a little packing brush. It's also from e.l.f. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of e.l.f. And this color is called Haute. Now it's a shimmer color, which is why we want that base. We don't want anything on that base. And I'm just going to pack it on top. Like, doesn't that just look gorgeous? Like, honestly, if I could have done my makeup like this for my wedding, it would have been great. Unfortunately, I didn't really have the skills then to do my makeup like this. But I did have a makeup artist do my makeup. So it's good. It still turned out really beautiful regardless. So, and I just take it down into that to that lower lash line. But then you can see the absolute difference. Now, in between here, we need something to like kind of blend those together. And again, that's just where we're going to come back with that fluffy blending brush. We're just going to find an in-between color and we're just going to blend it. That's all we're going to do. Now, we don't want to take it into the eye, into the section right here that we just packed. And again, you have to realize when you should like really blend or when you should add in your colors. Again, we're just blending. Look at that. Doesn't that look so beautiful? Just such a nude color, but it still looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, right here it looks a little dark, but it's in person, it's actually not that bad. For some reason, the camera's just picking it up as it is dark, but it's really not. But it still looks beautiful regardless. And I just feel like that it looks beautiful. And it's really not that bad. It's really, I mean, I can try and feather it out a little bit. And then with my little brush, I'm gonna come in this small angled brush, and I'm just gonna get like a lighter color. Probably like this compelling color, and it's like a kind of like a pink color, and I'm just gonna go in that corner and I'm just gonna place it in that middle corner. Doesn't that look absolutely gorgeous? Now, when it comes to hooded eyes, they're a process. So I'm going to finish up this other eye and I will be right back. Okay, we're back. So I finished up both of my eyes now, and they look just about the same. So one thing that I was noticing was that my color wasn't like coming out as much as I would like it to, as far as like my sparkle. So one thing that I do have is I have something that I can actually use to brighten it up just a little bit. Now this is by e.l.f. This is their liquid eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna take a little bit in that center. And then I'm gonna take my finger and kind of just drag it out. You can just see the absolute difference on that compared to yes, no. Okay, so now my eyes are done, and now we're gonna go into our foundation. So I use two different foundations. I use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in shade 202. Now the shade is a little bit darker, and I actually mix it with one of my other foundations, which is going to be this Maybelline Matte Poreless foundation in shade 110. So I just put it on the back of my hand, and I just mix it just so I can kind of get the color that I want. Now I know that they do have like different like color correctors now, which is great, and I can use those. It's just kind of understanding like the whole idea behind like the texture and like the color changes that we need to have. So this one kind of gives us more of a kind of more of like an ivory color, and I just try and get it to match on like underneath my skin and stuff. And then I will go in with my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I absolutely love these brushes, and I'm just going to really pack that foundation. And you see that I'm not swiping? I'm just tapping. And it looks like I'm gonna need a little bit more. I'm like so scared it's just gonna like pop out. And I don't want that to. Just because it's such a dark color, and I'm like, ah. I need to get myself like some of those mixing plates and mix the stuff on those mixing plates, but you know, college life is not exactly like that, so the hand is the best place to mix stuff. And I like to take it down my neck just to make sure that it matches the rest of the way. And I'm just going to put it over those spots that I did cover up earlier so that I can make sure that there's like a seamless, flawless blend over those so that we don't have, like, you can see like there's concealer there that's covering up the covering up my blemishes and stuff. So and then I'm just going to take my brush and notice that I'm staying away from my under eye as I'm doing this. I'm just going up close to it, but away from it. Mind you guys are seeing this without filters, so and it always is a little bit darker, but the powder that I put on it is actually going to make it lighten up a little bit. But as you can see, you can't really see those blemishes. I have basically covered those blemishes up. They're gone now. They're like, oh, blemish who? Just kidding. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it with my translucent powder. Now, the powder that I use is the Maybelline Fit Me powder. It's in shade 05, and it's just a little bit lighter. And I'm just gonna go in with a big fluffy brush. This is just the e.l.f. Total Face brush, and I'm just gonna go in and I'm going to pick up some product and I'm gonna tap that product off so I'm not putting a whole bunch of product on my face. And I'm just gonna go through and I'm just going to lightly tap it on places and just kind of spread it around. So there is all of that product. Now that I've got that set, now what I go in and do is I go in with the Ultimate Blending Brush again. Well, I have two different Ultimate Blending Brushes. One is for like my contour. One is for like my foundation. So I'm gonna go in with those, but first I'm gonna do is actually use the powder brush, and then I have like the sculptor brush. I think this is a Wet n Wild brush. I don't have one that's for specifically for from e.l.f. So I just go in with the light sculpt color, and there's differences for these for bronzers and stuff. So this light sculpt is for the underneath, and this is for the contour itself. There's a difference between the contour and the bronzer. And I'm just gonna go on that cheekbone and I'm just going to drop it there. And I'm just gonna tap it for now. I'm not going to try and like blend it. I'm just gonna tap it in. And then I will go in with my Ultimate Blending Brush and I will go in and mess with the blending process. So, and then when I do my nose contour, Now, everybody's face shape is different, but when I do my nose contour, I start from my brow bone and I work all the way down and I come and I create the point. Now, that's just personal for me. Everybody has like different face shapes, so the way you contour is you create that shadow because we're trying to slim the face. So you can see right here, I have a shadow here and a shadow down. And that's how we're just trying to create that shadow so that it just slims. That's all it's literally supposed to do, is just to slim. So I'm going to just go to the top and I'm just going to create those shadows. That's all I'm doing, is just creating the shadow. Now, when I do the nose, I do something different. I don't take that brush for the nose. I take like just a fluffy brush, and I just take it and I go as most precision as I can for that. Just because I don't want to get out of place and stuff. I feel like I can contour just a little bit better doing it this way. So I take it down. And I create the point at my nose. And I'll go in with the blending brush, the ultimate blending brush, and I will fix the rest of it. So now we're gonna go back with the ultimate blending brush. And it's super soft. I absolutely love it. And I'm just going to tap. So you can see that I've created those shadows now. Now, the next thing that I go in is I do the highlight. So the way I do it is I use this NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. And it is a super light color. I believe this color is in Pale. And I just do a little bit. I don't do a lot because a little goes a long way. So I just create one dot at the base of my nose. And I do one dot in the middle. Then I go like this. I put a little bit right here because I don't want a lot. And I do one dot right there. That's all I do. Again, a little bit right here. And one dot right there. Okay, and then I always go in and I like to do one right here above my Cupid's bow. And then one right here because I want to highlight that point, these high points I want to highlight. Then I come up here and I just want to highlight this point right here. It's the highest point on my face. So what I do is I actually use a sponge for this part. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to blend it out. Now my sponge is not wet, it's not damp, it's just a dry sponge. Again, not a lot on the bottom. underneath that eye because I don't want the eye to crease. And so far, we're not seeing creasing. We're not seeing creasing at all. And I'm gonna go back in with the powder and I'm gonna like fill in that with that powder. I'm gonna set it because I don't want it to go anywhere. I want it to stay where it's at. Sometimes I go in with whatever I have left, like on my sponge, and I'll go in underneath where I've sculpted. And I'll just kind of highlight that spot. Like you can kind of tell the difference. And when I do it like this, and it looks like I did not get the spot too well off that side. Okay. So then I'm gonna come in with some powder just on a little brush, just a little light fluffy brush. And I'm just gonna set that under eye so it doesn't crease, it doesn't go anywhere. Like you can see like just a difference. And again, a lot goes like a little goes a long way. It looks like I still did not get that to blend. It doesn't look like it's blended on like the camera, but it's blended in like person, so I don't know what's just the lighting. Go in and set underneath. See how that just brightens and it just lifts my face? Okay. And then, well, actually, so the highlight and contour powder that I'm using is going to be this highlight and contour powder by Profusion Cosmetics. So the sad thing is like 2 days after I got this palette, I dropped it and it broke this one, and I absolutely loved this one. This one was absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, yeah, your girl's broke and can't get another palette, so I'm gonna use this color called Heartfelt, and it's just the highlight, so I'm just gonna put some on that tip of my nose. And then I'm gonna drag some up the nose bone. And I'm going to put a little bit in that center, so it just highlights that center. Okay. Now I will do some off the side here, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my blush and get my blush done in that section. So what I'm using is called Always Rosy by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's kind of like a more, it's not quite out in your face, it's kind of like an orangey color, and I'm going to use a blush brush, and this is by e.l.f. and that's their blush brush. I'm not getting very much, and I'm tapping off the excess product into my palette, and I'm going to come in and I kind of smile so I can kind of guide it where I want it, but it's going to go right above where we sculpted. Okay, and then I've got to come back in with a powder brush, and I'm going to do a little bit of that bronzer. So I'm going to use the Hype that's from that same contour palette, and I'm just going to dab my brush in and blow it off a little bit, and kind of make sure that I get it in there so that I'm bronzing it just up a bit. And then I'm just gonna go back in with that same highlight, and I'm just gonna go above it where I put that blush, and I'm just going to use my finger and just make sure that we seamlessly blend it. Just like that. So you can, from this point, you can either go in and do like eyeliner or anything like that. I think I kind of like it the way it is. I probably will tightline it and then also put some mascara on and call it good. So I'm gonna come in with my eyeliner. So the eyeliner that I'm going to be using is from NYX. It's the Epic Wear Liner Stick in the color black. And I'm just going to tightline, and the way that I tightline is I go up underneath and I look away and I tightline just like that. Just like that. And it just kind of keeps it tight. Now, sometimes I will go in with like a white color underneath. And the reason why I do that is because it actually makes your eyes seem a little bit brighter. It's also going to be like the NYX retractable eyeliner in the color white, I believe. I believe it's in white. Yep, it's in white. And I'm going to come in, I'm going to drop my eye, and I'm just going to give myself a white waterline so that it kind of opens my eye up a little bit. And then I will come back in with like the brown shade that we used on my eyeshadow. And underneath. And then we will put our eyeshadow on. So I'm going to get that palette. I have to put it down on the ground because I don't want it falling off, because I will cry. So we're going to go back in with that color Thrive, and I'm going to use this small precision brush, and I'm just going to drag it underneath to give it that false line. And we're going to smudge that. We want to smudge it out just like that. See how it kind of opens your eyes up and makes it seem a little bit brighter? That's the one thing that I do enjoy about makeup, is that it can change everybody's game. It can change how everybody looks if you so allow it to. So, okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to curl my eyelashes, put some mascara on, and then I'm going to take my hair out, and yeah, and I think we'll be done after that. Maybe some lips, probably some lips. We'll do some lips real quick. So I'm just gonna come in here with my eyeliner, my eyelash curler. I'm gonna try to pull that bottom lash out, and I'm just going to curl it. So after I've curled it, I'm using the Maybelline New York Sky High mascara. I absolutely love this mascara. And yes, those are my real lashes. I can 100% assure you, you just watched me do it all. That is my real lash. They are super, super long. When I actually went in to do eyelash extensions at one point in time, they actually did not have eyelash extensions long enough to match my eyelashes. I was very devastated, but that is what it is. So sometimes I like to come in and do a little bit of mascara underneath my bottom lash line. And that's literally all I do to get ready. Now, mind you, I don't always get ready with like makeup or anything like that. It's just kind of a hit and miss when I decide to do makeup. And that's just because it just is time consuming for me. And makeup is expensive. So that's why I don't always do my makeup. But I absolutely love makeup. I love the way that I can express myself with makeup. So and then I got some underneath. So I'm just gonna kind of like take my finger and kind of clean it up a little bit. Okay. That's honestly how I do my makeup. Like you can see that I've got a little bit on top. If I find that I do something like that, I will just go in with that color, that top color, and I will cover it up as best I possibly can. So I'm just gonna take my finger. I'm just gonna lightly cover it. Just like that. Now I've noticed that this eyelash, like this set of eyelashes is not going to stay like up like these other ones are. So I'm just gonna go in with another coat of mascara and try and be a little bit more aggressive with it. And again, like I've already like messed it up of how I cleaned it. So that's honestly how I do my makeup. 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, that's how I do my makeup. So I guess what the next thing I can do is do my lips real quick. There are a couple things that I like to do with my lips. Let's see here. We can do, I think this combo will be pretty. So I'm going to line my lips, and this is going to be the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner. Now this is going to be in the color Vintage, and all I'm gonna do is just line it, so I'm not gonna talk. And like literally, like the makeup always makes my nose run, and I don't know why. So then I'm gonna come in with this Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Metallic Lipstick, and this is in the color Asahi So Serious. And I absolutely love this stuff. And I'm just gonna... like that. I tend to like a darker lip. Some people don't. Just you do you. Really. So, I think that's usually everything that I typically tend to do. I need to fix that up just a tad bit. Alright, so that's honestly what I do. I'm going to finish up and I will be right back with the finished product. Okay, so here's what it looks like after I pulled my hair out, and all I did was literally tie 2 socks together and do that and just like wet my hair down. And my hair is basically curly. It actually looks really nice. I'll have to finish it off with some oil and stuff, but it's curled. It looks beautiful. I love it. It's subtle curl, but it's still beautiful. I absolutely love it. And I think the makeup looks great today. So that is my get ready with me. I hope you all appreciate it, and I hope you guys love the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and also make sure you click that notification bell to get a notification of when I post more videos. We will be continuing our journey with the Minish Cap. Hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit more as soon as I get basically done with school. We can just run wild and free. I am planning on returning to streaming at the end of April, probably beginning of May. It just kind of depends. So stay tuned for that announcement when it comes, so that you all will be able to come join me on Twitch again, and we'll just run crazy, wild, and free in time for our Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom stream, which we will be doing. I will also be doing an unboxing video of the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition. So make sure that you also keep your notifications free and clear because that video will be dropping as soon as I get that collector's edition. So thank you all for joining me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys all in the next video. Peace out, you guys.